Well, okay, let's get started because I have so much to cover in just a short amount of time. Hello, Suzanne. Oh, hello, Carrie. I am so happy to see you here. When I saw you signed up, my heart was just like jumped. Oh, and Fern, hello, another Bay Area, Sebastopol. Oh, hello, everybody. I am just delighted that you guys are joining me for my first kind of master class, a big class, not just in my Facebook group of 2020. Like I was mentioning, you might have heard me say earlier, I haven't done one of these big master classes since August of 2019, and I'm super happy to resurrect it, but I'm a little bit rusty, I'm a little bit frazzled, and we are, of course, going through this global pivot and the ups and the downs, and today's astrology is a little bit woo, so I appreciate all of your patience. Hello, Susan. Yes, it's a beautiful sunny day. Oh, Cynthia, I'm glad you're loving the energy today because I'm like, oh. Here we go. I'm going to feel so much better as we're doing this because it just warms my heart talking with all of you. So today is Taurus New Moon. It's going to be new a little later today, and it's also Earth Day, the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. The new moon is in Taurus. The new moon is a few degrees from Uranus. And, you have heard the call. I know you've heard the call that we are here as light workers to bring in the new world order, right? Like we're in the age of Aquarius. This old capitalism is not working for us. And so here as light workers, as healers, as spiritual entrepreneurs, as social impact makers, we are here. And our job right now is to really stand up and know our worth, right? Because sometimes it's really hard to see our worth, especially when we live in a culture that currently doesn't value the healing modalities and work that we do. And so how do we begin to talk about what we do so that other people get it, and that so that we can really feel that power that we're bringing forth, even though it's not tangible, right? Because we are here to build the new future, right? Are you guys with me on this? Just pop in the chat, just yay or nay. So, oh, here we go. Yes, Hannah says yes, yes. Oh my gosh, look at all these yeses. Hello, LaDonna. Hi, Michelle. Yes, Jenna. Oh my gosh, so glad to see you here. Oh, uh, so with it, Joanna. Yes. So, oh my goodness, 1 second, please. This is where I forgot to turn on my notes. So give me 1 second while I figure this out. Because I need my notes. You guys can see my share there, right? Oh, here's my notes. There we go. All right. I have lots of screens in here. All right. So I know that you are super good what you do and probably even great, but maybe you're like kind of struggling with supporting your dream life, right? Or maybe like you're attracting clients, but not consistently the right ones that really see your value. Oh, the slides disappeared. Okay. Screen share. Thank you for letting me know. Resume share. Can you see it? I think you can. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. Um, but really, right, most of you guys, who here is a spiritual business owner who wants to contribute your expertise and be seen as a thought leader in your field, right? Or maybe you are a social impact maker and a community builder who wants to affect bigger change and build equity for all. Or maybe you're a creator, a dreamer and a stargazer destined to create more publicity so they can create their freedom life. Yes, yes, yes. So, if this is you, you are in the right place, okay? I just want to let you know. And, part of the reason that we get stuck, right? Earlier I was talking about, it's hard for us to see our own value, especially because we are so always looking to try to help others, right? We don't see our worth, we underestimate what we do, or we can't really fully communicate our capacity to transform others' lives, right? So we don't feel deserving. And so when I mentioned like we underestimate our value, I know like I was just talking with Jenna the other day, and one of the things, if you don't mind me sharing, Jenna, um, Jenna started with, well, I don't really have a real business. And so, with inquiring a little bit about what her business was, well, Jenna has a real business. Jenna serves corporate clients. She had all these things. And I was curious to know why she couldn't say, hey, I have this business. And so this is probably something that we've all felt, right? Like, I know I had my business for over 10 years before I could even call myself a web designer. Like, that's like the roots of my business is as a web designer. And I couldn't call myself a web designer until I had my business for 10 years, right? So, I mean, who else, right? Who else has come away with this, right? Where you don't really see your worth or underestimate your value, right? But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be embracing the Taurus New Moon so that we can open up ourselves to seeing the value we offer, so that we can confidently communicate our value and our worth, even in these uncertain times. Yes, Joanna says, felt like an imposter for so long. So when we are really able to claim our value, right? When we're able to step into our power, we are able to like visually see, like we are able to say like, oh my gosh, yes, this gift of healing, this gift of transformation is valuable, right? We can actually define it. We can actually then when we define it to ourselves, then we can define it to others, right? We can confidently communicate what it is that we do, and then we can confidently communicate asking for charging for what we're worth, right? Even working with Joanna here, earlier I had asked her, last new moon, I had asked her to write an invocation for me. And I pushed her buttons and I made her ask for a price, right? I wanted to pay her, but it was a test, a little bit of a test to see if she could actually claim her price and step into it. And you know what, Joanna, I am so proud of you. You did, right? um and if you're going to be like Joanna and like really talk about what you're going to do, then you're going to really be able to call in those customers that are looking for exactly what you offer, because you can talk about it now, right? And then of course all of these are related, right? Because when you can really talk about your value, when you can step into your value, of course you're going to make more money. And if there's anybody here who has some money stories about like, we're not supposed to be making money right now, 1 in 7 people are losing their jobs, there are so many people making a shitload of money right now. And so we can too, all right? Because I know none of us here are to profiteer or take advantage. We're here to build our freedom lifestyle. We're here to contribute to the world. And of course, we're here to give back to our words, right? To our world. Oh, hello, Adriana. So yes, speak it. Thank you. So who is here to elevate your brand's worth? If you're ready to make this change, type in a yes or an amen or a me or a speak it. Yes. You guys are so awesome. I'm already having like a 180 day since when I started. So already we're down to 50 minutes. So what we're going to be covering today is we're going to be talking about the new moon and why it's so important to set intentions and the difference between intentions versus goals, right? We're going to be talking about the Taurus energy because we all have Taurus in our charts somewhere. And so where that is in our charts, is where we are meant to grow our material prosperity and our inner peace. Then we're going to be looking at the new moon and exactly where it's activating in your business. I'll be going over just really quickly my Astro brand system of branding and visibility. And then of course, I let you guys know already, I'll be giving away 5 astrology readings to people that are in attendance here. So if you want these, I already selected a few charts. I selected 12 charts. So we're going to just do like the first 5, whoever's here. And then we're gonna all do together a new moon exercise. I wanna get you started. We won't have time to complete it, but the new moon isn't till later on this evening. So I wanted to get you guys all set up so that you guys could then go off on your own and do this ritual, because it is a very powerful new moon. And then I have a surprise gift for you. All right. Ariel said, I would love to be one of the 5. PJ, hoping mine is one of those picks. Firm. I'm feeling a little confused because right before the virus hit, a friend convinced me I needed to raise my rates. And I did, but then the virus hit, my clients went down. So now I'm offering a sliding scale. Yes. So Fern, I think that that is a really great question. Hey Jeff, on the back end, can you save that question? I want to answer that the Q&A, because I know a lot of people have that same question about charging too much. And we've seen so many people give away a lot of free stuff. I know that I'm giving away this free opportunity, but it's because I love new moons so much. And it's just like one of the little things that it just brings me so much joy to do all together. Latoya, yes, looking forward to the readings. Gabby, me too. PJ, yes, we'll be going through all of the houses. Hannah would love a free reading. Launched your website today. Congratulations. Amanda, Taurus 10th house. Michelle, perfect. Awesome. So let's keep on going. So I know that some of you guys know me here and a lot of you don't. So, excuse me if I'm repeating this, or maybe you'll catch something that you haven't known about me before. But again, my name is Leslie Tagorda. I am half Filipino and half Jewish, and I was raised in a household. We had, like, my stepdad was Buddhist. We had all of the deities in my house, right? But I grew up in Hawaii, and it's a very Asian culture, and girls were taught to not be too smart, not to be too demanding, and to never speak up, right? So this has really stayed with me. Even though I am already 46 years old, I feel like I've only recently learned how to find my voice and share that. And so, like I mentioned earlier, I've had a web design business since 2004. So for over 15 years, I've designed websites for brands and nonprofits and small businesses, and mostly women business owners. And through this, I've heard hundreds of women's big ideas and stories about their businesses. And I've seen also I've witnessed a lot of people just never being able to launch, right? Going through the whole process, but getting really stuck and being, really struggling with being visible. And I take this as that it was a reflection of, like, my own playing small. And so a couple of years ago in 2018, I kind of was, like, just so fed up. I was ready to throw in the towel. I felt like I was not making any difference in the world. I was barely surviving with money, even though I was surviving in San Francisco. That's where I live. And I was ready to call it quits. But then I looked at my astrological chart, because I've loved astrology since the 6th grade. And for whatever reason, even though it was at the tip of my nose, I'd never seen it before, and it just presented itself to me. So if you're into astrology, even just a little bit, you know that you are more than your sun sign. Our natal chart is a multifaceted, complex system of all of these different energies that we're supposed to bring forward into our lives. And what I noticed was, oh my gosh, this is the perfect framework for branding, for creating a one-of-a-kind brand. And so literally, after I discovered this, all of these things kind of fell into my place. I found a business coach, and then in less than 24 months of my astrological business branding kind of framework discovery, I reinvented my business. I rebranded. I built a thriving platform, a Facebook community, astrology podcast, wrote a book proposal, launched and delivered my trainings for over 4 times already, all around this framework, right? And so I am here to teach you what I have learned, all of that in a nutshell, okay? But basically, what I'm here to tell you is that once you have that aha moment, and once you decide that this is your time, then everything else just kind of puts itself into its place, right? I did all of this in less than 2 years, okay? If you had known me 2 years ago, you would have no idea that I was capable of doing all that I've done. Actually, I didn't even know that I was capable until I started going forward, right? So that's me in a nutshell. Oh, here's my friend. Here's all my friends. So I talked about this. I've loved astrology. Oh, and here's Carrie. There's Carrie. There you are, Carrie. And so I've heard it all. All right, so my overall mission with business and everything for you guys here is to help spiritual entrepreneurs and social impact makers expand their light and increase their ability to be visible so that you can show up and contribute, right? Who is here to stop hiding and start shining? Oh, thank you, Gabby. If you're ready to start shining, oh, yes, perfect. Jill, me, Hannah, me. I love it. I want to hear a me or a yes. Awesome. It's your time. Yes. Oh, you guys. You have found the right place. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So before we go on, I'm going to give you guys a quick intro to business astrology, because there are some terms that I'm going to be talking about that I want you guys to understand before we go on, right? So we are going to be talking about a way of looking at our natal charts to align our business to the way that we can express ourselves to create abundance while connecting to serve others, right? Because ultimately we are all here to serve others. We don't have a business if we're not here to serve others, right? Each of the signs, each of the zodiacs represents different psychographics that we must activate in different areas of our businesses, right? So I'm going to go through this. So on the left here, you can see this is a natal chart, and a natal chart is the map of the stars and the luminaries at the exact time, from the exact time and place of your birth. So this is the natal chart. This is mine on the left here. And I look at Western astrology, and I look at it on the Placidus house system. Work with different astrologers that work with different house systems. I tend to like the Placidus house system because it's a little bit wonky, and to me, it gives us a very specific way to break up the chart. So you can see at the right, the chart is divided into 12 different houses. You can see this 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, time to shine. Can you guys see my cursor when I'm moving this around here? Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lindsay. Because I'm looking at a different screen here. All right, so today we're going to be focusing on the second house because that's ruled by Taurus. And also for each of the houses, they represent a different part of our business. And so from the first house, if you want to take a screenshot of this, please take a screenshot, because I don't think this made it into the worksheets, but I'm going to be offering a training, a low cost training for this on how to read the different house systems for your business. So first house is about branding. Second house is about value and our worth. Third house about communications. Fourth house about our emotional security and our roots. Fifth house about creativity and play, which is very important in business. Sixth house of daily routines and systems. Seventh house of partnerships. Eighth house about other people's money, because at a certain time you're going to need to grow, and growth takes a little bit of investment, whether you like to call this debt or you like to call this loan. It's utilizing other people's money to grow your business. The ninth house is about our vision and about how we can promote ourselves to a wider reach. 10th house is about our delivery and how we accomplish our ultimate mission. 11th house is our platforms and our communities. And the 12th house is a place where we come to restore and relax. And so when we look at our businesses from the perspective of astrology, we get this really holistic view where it covers every single part of our business, everything from leadership to business development to marketing and promotions. Isn't that amazing? So the way that I look at branding, like I said, branding for me is about being visible, and it's about showing up so that we can contribute. And one of the definitions that I work with in branding is that I call branding the experience and the lasting feeling that somebody has with our business. And so to put this all together, what I like to distill in a brand is a solid clear vision. A vision is the position of your business in the larger scope that differentiates you from your competitors. It also gives you like a forward direction so you know exactly where you're going. And it also positions you to serve your ideal soul customers. Yes, soul customers. You are meant to serve a specific type of customer. When we have our vision and position, then we can create a strong brand voice that engages, right? So vision, then voice. And then oftentimes, I know some of us, we love to start with the style and the design of our brand, but the style comes last. The style comes after we get a really clear personality and voice for our business. And so we create the vision, voice, and style all together by looking at the 3 pillars of our natal chart: our sun sign, our moon sign, and our rising sign. We don't have time to cover that today, but I will definitely cover that in a future training session for you. Fern, thank you so much. She said she loves my graphics and design. Beautiful. Thank you. I did start off as a brand designer. So now we're going to get into the actual new moon part. Now, this isn't a full ceremony because the new moon doesn't go, actually, we're still right before the new moon. So I want you guys to save this new moon activation for when you guys do your rituals in just a few hours. But I would still love to dedicate and call for support with this beautiful goddess, earth goddess of Pachamama, right? If you haven't seen on Netflix, there's a beautiful animated film about Pachamama. Pachamama is an Andean earth goddess. And so she's the goddess of fertility who lived in the soil, and she assured nature's cooperation with humans. So today, as I call on Pachamama for us all on our behalfs, that she can protect and provide and hear our intentions to guide us to our abundance as we serve others. Thank you, Pachamama, for supporting us as we go forward with the rest of our masterclass. Thank you, Carrie. It is Earth Day. I wanted to find a beautiful Earth goddess. Taurus is the epitome of Earth. I could have chose Aphrodite or Venus, but I'm finding that there's a world of goddesses that are definitely underrepresented, and I would love to explore all of these beautiful energies to come support us. So let's get into it, right? So Taurus, we all have Taurus energy somewhere. And Taurus energy, unlike just Aries energy just a few weeks ago or just a couple of days ago, really, Aries is fast moving, go, go, go. And Taurus is like, let's take our time and smell the roses, right? Taurus is all about material wealth and prosperity. It's also about pleasure, right? It doesn't have to be sexual pleasure. Sexual pleasure is more Leo and creativity, that kind of thing. But the sensuality, like the smell of sweet peas, like the feel of a luxurious like face oil, right? And in our business, it definitely represents our physical earnings, right? What we can really, our prosperity. And you know that our prosperity and our ability to build wealth is directly related to our self-worth. It's directly related to how we value what we do, right? And it's also, we're able to call in people when we not only share what like our value, but what our values are. Right? So what do we all value? I know I value diversity, I value love, I value inclusivity. And so bringing those different values and really getting clear on those, I value spirituality. And of course, I'm going to bring in other businesses that also value spirituality. And of course, Taurus is about luxuries and pleasure because, hey, you know, if you have, you know, if you have simple luxuries or, you know, you like brand name bags and stuff like that, all the more power to you. You probably have strong Taurus. Joanna says, value self-care and beauty and play. Yes, 100%. So the thing is that oftentimes sometimes we're not really tapped into Taurus energy, right? And of course, there is a spectrum of Taurus energy. We can be at the low vibration of Taurus energy where, you're going to Costco and you're hoarding all of the toilet paper. I hope none of us did that here. But if you did, let's look at that, right? Like, there's no judgment, but like, let's look at why, right? So at the low end of Taurus, we have this like hoarding, but at the high end of Taurus, we have this ability to share the wealth, right? But when we're not using our Taurus energy, we're not tapping into it, we're like underestimating what we're capable of. We're undervaluing what we actually do. And you know that those two are a bad recipe for undercharging. Or if you do get brave enough to charge what you're worth, then you end up giving more, right? Again, not judging, been there, done that, probably still do that. Right? LaDonna says, I don't see Taurus anywhere in my chart. Makes sense. Well, we all have Taurus, and I'm going to show everybody how you can find where Taurus is in your chart. So who here can relate about underestimating, undervaluing, or undercharging? Just say yay. And I'll take a sip of my hibiscus kombucha. Leslie, yay. Oh yeah, all the yays come in. All right, so everybody here, me included, right? Oh my gosh. So now, this is what we're going to be doing with the new moon, right? So new moon happens at 7:26 p.m. Pacific, 10:26 p.m. Eastern. And now I understand that I'm going to be needing to add Australia and European time zones here too, because I'm meant to be global, not just here in North America. So what we're going to be doing today is setting our intention so that we can really embody our worth and values, right? I'm talking about embodiment because Taurus is an earth energy. And the way that you tap into Taurus energy is by feeling, like really the senses, smelling, hearing, wrapping yourself in cozy things, drinking yummy, nourishing food and drinks and stuff like that. All of those ways that you can bring in even a little bit of pleasure is tapping into your Taurus energy. And the more pleasure that you can savor and appreciate, the more peace that you have. And when we're in this place of vibrating inner peace, of course, abundance comes to you, right? And because we're talking about business, we're just going to be talking about profits, right? Cynthia, yes. Well, Cynthia, you are an earth goddess to the core. So to embody is to be for you. Oh, thank you, Amanda, 12:26 p.m. Australia. So on April 23rd in the wee early in the morning. So Evelyn says, I have Taurus in my second house. As I write down what I value, it makes sense. Oh yeah. So Evelyn, you probably have you could have a really, really good relationship with money because Taurus rules the second house. And so for the lucky people that have Taurus in the second house, cultivating wealth can be very, very easier than most. Okay. And so Hannah and Evelyn will definitely go through Taurus house by house. So if you've been a master manifester, even if it feels like you can manifest things in your life but not necessarily in your business, like I know for me, like I can manifest all of these things outside of my business, but sometimes manifesting in my business feels kind of like, oh, like there's something that's kind of ambiguous. But we all know that master manifestors have the ability to experience pleasure and peace, right? And we all have this ability. So my question, are you valuing yourself and your offering? Evelyn, that's great to hear because I've had to change my mindset around money. Yeah, I mean, most of us have had to change our mindset around money, right? I mean, in Western culture, we have this really jacked up um, relationship to money, right? On one hand, people are like, oh, money is bad, money is the root of all evil. And then we have this like like a lot of influencers promoting all these luxury brands where people go into debt buying all kinds of things and, you know, capitalizing on material aspects, right? So of course we have this really kind of unsure, unclear story about money. But if we can see that money is just an energy and it's here for us to cultivate and share, it's not here for us to hoard and just to keep, like all those Jeff Bezos of the world, you know, like that is just horrible things that they're doing. He could fund entire nations with the money that he makes on a single day, right? I know that none of us are here to do that. We are here to provide for our communities, provide for our families, and then if we have things left over, I know all of us here are contributing to the larger good, right? Ariel says it's that true Taurus moon and Taurus north node, realizing, yeah, we'll definitely have to look at your chart. So intentions versus goals. What happens when you don't have an intention, right? I mean, a lot of us, and me for about 15 years, let's just be honest here, right? I'm just telling you because I've made so many mistakes in my business. For 15 years, I had no intention, right? I wasn't doing these new moon rituals. I wasn't saying, oh, I want this in my business. I want to go forward and do this. I had like no intentions. I barely even had goals, right? And so when we don't have an intention, when we don't have this thing that we desire, that we're growing into, then we just get blown with the wind. And sometimes, if we're really lucky, the wind will blow us exactly where we need to go. But more often than not, that's an outlier, right? So we need to really say, hey, universe, hey, spirit guide, hey, Pachamama, this is where I would like to go. And let the spirit guides help us there, right? An intention is way more powerful than a goal because an intention is open-ended. It's infinite in the amount that it can expand, whereas a goal is finite with no room to grow further, right? So your goal could be something like, oh, I want to enroll 20 people into my next flagship. What if you're supposed to serve 100 people, right? Or your goal could be like, okay, I want to make like $500,000 this year. But then what if you're supposed to make $1,000,000, right? So yes, we can quantify it a little bit, but we also have to look at where we can have room to expand just in case the universe wants to provide us with even more. Oh, Cynthia, I love that so much. Prosperity is our birthright. If the universe is limitless, then we are too. Everyone is meant to thrive. I just want to savor that for a moment because it is so beautiful. And today's date equals 3 in numerology. Well, 3, so I was looking at it as actually even 4, right? Because it's 4 April 22, which is 4, and then 2020, which is 4. And for me, I think I mentioned earlier, I've been seeing 4 everywhere. But Taurus, that it's a 3-degree new moon, and we're going to talk a little bit about the astrology. So the new moon, this is the time when you need to plant your seeds, right? And when I was mentioning earlier, when we were looking at the house system of all of the different in our natal charts, as the moon goes through the zodiac, it's going to go through each of the zodiacs, through each what am I trying to say? It's going to go through each of the 12 zodiacs in 1 year. So if we are able to set our intention once a year for a particular area in our life, imagine how powerful we'll be, because we've seen how holistic, meaning what, like the whole picture that our natal chart provides. So when we're using the new moon in each zodiac, it's giving us this really specific thing to intend each month, and I just love it. So the new moon is a time to plant your seeds of intention. You know, if you're actually planting your garden, it'll be a really great time to plant those seeds as well. And so when you have about 72 hours after the moon goes new for you to plant these seeds. So, you know, if you can't make it at, for the Australians here at 12:26 a.m. in the morning, you know, you can wake up in the morning and do your intention settings, right? So what we're going to be doing today is, with the rest of this new moon in Taurus, we're going to be looking at discovering how self-worth is directly related to your ability to make a profit. We're going to learn about your transformational impact and value that you bring to your world, as looking at from your second house cusp. And we are going to also be doing an exercise together so that it's going to help you set your intention for this Taurus new moon and, create your financial projections, right? Let's do it. It's time. All right, so today we're going to be planting the seeds to value ourselves and our offerings in our brand while acknowledging that we are already worthy and deserving. All right. Oops. Can you guys see this? I hope you can see this. Carrie got back from the nursery. Oh my gosh, got so many plants. Yes. Which one did you go to? Which nurseries are open? Because I need to get some plants myself. So like I said, I'm not formatting today's masterclass like an actual ceremony. Sometimes I do that in my group. I'll create an actual ceremony, but because the new moon isn't happening until a few hours, I wanted to give you guys these steps. It's also in the download. So if you head over to the Savvy Luminary or just email me if you're not on Facebook, I'll get you the worksheets that we have for today. But I have all of these 5 steps here, and these steps are pretty consistent. So whatever you do, you want to clear your space, right? You want to clear your space energetically, physically, of clutter, right? You want to get into this great place where you can receive. Then you are going to dream big. So for those of you who are mostly earth people, move your bodies. If you're like mostly an air person, use your mind and journal. If you're a water person, take a beautiful bath, Who did I forget? Oh, if you're a fire person, do some, candle gazing, whatever you need to do to get into the flow, to desire, to create your big dream. And because we're doing these intentions, right, you can make your dream as big as you want to. If you see yourself, already correcting yourself in this place where you're supposed to dream big, this is where you have to really notice, right? Notice if your inner critic is coming in and telling you can't have something, right? And then you have more work to do. But basically, after you dream big, then you'll be able to ask for what you want. Now, of course, if you can say these things out loud, I, Leslie, would like to plant the seeds to receive $500,000 over the next 6 months. I don't know where that just came from, and I see myself censoring it already. I have some money stories to work on. But when you can say those words out loud, you are just telling the universe in vibration that you are ready, right? And I know that sometimes it's really, really hard for us to ask for what we want, even when we're just speaking it to the air. Patricia, the worksheet was so helpful. Great. Oh, Carrie, thank you. So after you ask for what you want, make sure you give thanks. You release any spirit guides that you want to do, that you brought into your ritual. And then you need to activate, right? You have to activate your ritual by doing something that tells the universe you mean business. We're going to talk more about that. And then after you activate your ritual, right, then go ahead and ripple forward the love. We all have more than enough to share. So figure out a way that you can ripple forward the love. So this is the cheat sheet of the steps to create your ritual. So later on, whenever you do your ritual after the new moon, please share with me your altars, your space, whatever you put together, because when we do this together, when we cultivate and share together, we're just pooling all of our powers so that we can serve each other. All right. So who here is, I'm sorry, I've been just talking all of this time, but who here is going to be doing a new moon ritual after the moon goes new? Just type in, yes, Latan. Oh, perfect. Anytime you guys want to talk, just put in the comments here, because I realized that was a lot of me going blah, blah, blah. Oh, so beautiful. I'm so glad all of you guys are going to be doing rituals. Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. So this is the chart of the new moon from San Francisco at 7:26 p.m. You can see here the moon, sun and moon at 3 degrees 24 minutes in Taurus, 3 degrees exactly from Uranus. So the sun is our creative capacity. Our moon is our intuitive emotional self. And at the time of the moon is dark. It is not reflecting any light because we can't see it from here, right? And it's activating Uranus, our need to be original, our need to be change makers, our need to go against the norm, right? So there's a lot of unexpected things that can happen with today's new moon, but this freedom loving of Uranus, like the need for it to be its own rebel, is really being hampered right now. It's in a tight square with Saturn in Aquarius. So Saturn is the taskmaster. Is the one that brings all the reins in, right? And so with Saturn there, it's just telling us that, hey, we have all these dreams to be free right now, but we're stuck in our house, right? And all it's saying is that, okay, put everything that you want to do together, and in due time, I will let you do this. Do the work. I will let you do this, right? We have to remember that Saturn is not here to just put a damper on everything. Saturn is there to tell us that we need to put discipline, we need to put in the foundation and the work in order to create our dreams. All right. So if anybody, if you agree with that, say yay. What does it mean being in the seventh house? Journaling, howling, woohoo. Uranus, did I study with Stephen Forrest? No, I have not. So it just happens to be in the seventh house on this chart because I cast it from San Francisco at the time, but this is a collective chart. So at least for San Franciscans, this just means that in the seventh house, this is about partnerships, right? And that that creating wealth in this time, to create wealth, is about serving others. We are not going to ever be in a time going forward where creating wealth for self-serving is going to be right. We are going to see that the people that are just profiteering right now, they're going down, right? The people that are going to be the most profitable are going to be the ones that are really contributing to the world, right? So in Houston, it might be in a different house at a different time. I would have to cast the chart. It definitely does go longitude. Houston, I'm trying to think of where it is. Houston's a little south. I don't actually know. I should look that up, but I don't actually know. There's my answer. So for all of you guys who have your charts, am I missing the worksheets? Oh yeah. So Susan, if you hop into the Savvy Luminary in the group, there's the files are in there. You can see it. Otherwise, Jeff, can you email those worksheets to Susan? So when you're looking at your natal chart, this is a natal chart that's just drawn up in astro.com. And what you're going to be looking for on the outside of this, of the wheel here, you're going to be looking for the bull, right? So this is my chart, and you can see that all 30 degrees of the zodiac, this is Taurus for me. So for me, it's this part of my chart. It's the ruler of my 12th house, but for you, it might be somewhere else. So you need to look at where in your chart Taurus is. So like, for example, LaDonna, you're saying, oh, I don't have Taurus in my chart. We all have Taurus in our chart, but it's going to be somewhere. Well, actually, LaDonna, I think you're a Scorpio rising. So I think your Taurus is going to be either in the 6th or the 7th house. So first thing off, find where Taurus is. And because the way that the dial rotates, that we look at the degrees, it's actually counterclockwise. Okay, so if you notice my cursor, I'm going in a counterclockwise motion. So at the right side of Taurus, that is 0 degrees Taurus. And the new moon is happening at 3 degrees Taurus. So I'm going to just like move. I can't see 3 degrees. My eyes are kind of bad here, but I know that 3 degrees is right around here. So I can see in my chart, in my natal chart, 3 degrees of Taurus, I have no planets, but it's in my 11th house. okay? So the first thing you need to do is find out where Taurus is in your chart, look at where 3 degrees is, and then find out the house, which is one of the pie charts. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way through 12. So mine is in the 11th house, right? Now, even though Taurus 3 degrees is in the 11th house, Taurus happens to go right over this cusp door to the 12th house. So what in my chart here, the 12th house is the house that is ruled by Taurus, okay? So again, we're looking at where 3 degrees of Taurus is. It happens to be in my 11th house, and it's the ruler of the 12th house. So each of these lines, and actually I'll go on this chart. Each of these lines, this is the doorway to the first house, known as our rising, doorway to the second, doorway to the third, doorway to the fourth, and so on, right? So each of these doorways are called our cusp lines. And that's how you can tell whatever Taurus is lying on top of, that is the ruler of that house. So 3 degrees, again, I'm going to repeat this, 3 degrees of Taurus for me is activating my 11th house, but Taurus rules my 12th house. Oh, you can't see my cursor. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay, let's see. Can you guys see the cursor here? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so you see Taurus is right here in my chart. This is the bull. This is the sign of Taurus here, and at the right hand side is we read the chart going in a counterclockwise motion. And so Taurus at 0 degrees is the right part of Taurus here. The rightmost part of the zodiac is where the 0 degrees is. And then because each zodiac takes up 30 degrees, 3 degrees of Taurus is right here, and it's in my 11th house, right? So if we look at this chart here, you can see the houses a little bit more easily. So for me, the 11th house, Taurus is activating my 11th house. And this is the 12th house cusp. So what I was saying, I'll go back to this chart. Each of these lines is a doorway into the house, the preceding house. So this is your rising sign. This is the doorway into the first house. This is the second house cusp or doorway going into the second house, third house, fourth house, etc. Right? So for me, again, and I'll be doing more examples so you'll be able to see this better. For me, Taurus is on my 12th house cusp. So Taurus rules my 12th house. So perfect. Recalculated with Positive, still in the second house at 16 degrees for Taurus. Perfect. Michelle says, by knowing what house Taurus is activating, and it might be in the next house, how do we read that to know what it means? Yes, I'm so glad that you asked. So I'll be going into more examples with that. So I will answer your question, Michelle. So we are going to be actually looking at what I want you to be looking at in your charts is actually 3 different things, right? So we're going to be looking at the second house, right? Because the second house is it ruled by Taurus. So we want to look at where I have the star here. I want to look at what sign rules that second house, because that tells you what the archetype of the value that you're really offering, right? Which house that Taurus new moon is activating is telling you how to specify your new moon intention. And the Taurus, the house that Taurus rules, is telling you where you need to add more pleasure and prosperity. Okay, I know that might be going over the heads a little bit. I think I'm getting a little bit technical into the astrology, but maybe by the examples you'll be able to hear. And of course, later on, I'll have some offerings for you if you want to get deeper and more specific into your chart. So what I want to do is, so if you can all find, if you have your chart with you, and you can do this later, this is also in the worksheet. What you want to find is what house Taurus rules. So earlier in my example, I mentioned that Taurus rules my 12th house because Taurus is right over that cusp line. If you go back to the worksheet, Taurus house by house, it's going to tell you here how to interpret that. So for me, because it rules my 12th house, I must plant the seeds to manifest valuable and profitable charitable opportunities so that others may feel stable and secure. Okay, so this is a place where I need to invest more prosperity and invest more of my actual money in charitable contributions because Taurus rules my 12th house. Even if it's between two houses nearly equally, it's still going to be ruling one. Well, it sometimes for those rare people, you will have Taurus ruling over a couple of houses. Those are called house interceptions, a little more complicated in depth than I can go over today, but hit me up with a DM. I can help you with that more information. But you can see that in my Taurus, most of Taurus is still in my 11th house, but Taurus rules my 12th house here. Okay, and so when you're looking at what you need to be kind of focusing in just in your business in general, and for this new moon, like where you can create more prosperity, look at where Taurus is in your chart as well as where it's activating, right? So in my example, right, I mentioned that Taurus was on my 12th house cusp. It rules my 12th house, but the third 3 degrees of Taurus was actually activating my 11th house. So I'm going to be creating my own specific intentions around the 11th house and the 12th house. I'll be combining those two. So for me, creating monetized community and platforms that support my humanitarian efforts. Like, yes, that works perfectly for me. Okay, perfect. So one second. I know this is probably going over the top of, this is probably getting a little bit more complicated. Give me one section. Okay, so Evelyn, what does that mean? Susan, how do I find my chart to know which house I'm looking at? I know maybe too many astro details. So Evelyn, so what this all means is that we're just kind of really trying to get really specific as to where we want to create our money intentions. Now, if this is just kind of going over your head and you want to do a more collective, that is fine as well. All right, so I'm gonna have to move on. I'm sorry, actually, I didn't look at the time. I was enjoying myself so much, but we need to get into these 5 gift readings. So just to let you know what we're gonna be doing with these readings, and I'll be talking through them. I'll be talking through them here, so that you can get more examples, and maybe this will kind of give you some ideas on how to specify it for you. So what we'll be doing in these 5 mini readings is that we're going to be looking at the second house cusp, right? So this is the value of your offering as seen in your chart. We're going to look at where the 3 degrees of Taurus is activating, and then we're going to quickly look at how to lead and so that you can gain more brand visibility. Oh yes, and Jeff said, if you guys have any specific questions, just put them in, and Jeff will collect them for me, and I can answer them in emails and stuff like that. Ashley says, I would love a series on courses on how to read our natal business charts. Yes, Ashley. Oh my gosh, this is so coming. This is, I think this is a challenge that is coming up within the next week. I have been hearing the call that I need to create this. Carrie, yes, me too. Perfect. Yay. All right. So our first person, Giselle, are you here, Giselle? If you are, say a yay. And what I want to do. Oh, yay. Hey, Jeff, can you figure out, can you, on your end, can you put Giselle, can you call her up? Can you unmute her? So just a couple of minutes for each of these charts. So Giselle, this is your chart. Your second house ruler is Sagittarius. Okay. So Sagittarius, the archetype of Sagittarius is a fire sign, and it's inspirational, right? It's this place of where like they're of adventure, and it's this place of where you can like keep on going and expand, right? So the real true gift, I know you have a podcast, I know you do business coaching and mentorship. The real gift that you have, people come to you because you inspire them. Oh, thank you. I keep on pointing to the wrong screen. Thank you, Carrie. Let me see if I can just drag over this screen here. I need more screens. Wait, and now sharing is paused. And resume share. Okay, I'm here. So Giselle, your second house cusp right here on Sagittarius just means that you are supposed to be an inspiration. The value of your offering is that you get people inspired and hopeful that they can reach beyond what they thought was possible. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry that this is taking I planned too much in too little time. So that's your second house offering, right? That's the value that you really give through your business. And you have Taurus as the ruler of your seventh house. This is the seventh house cusp. Taurus is it extends from in the middle of your sixth house and it goes through your seventh house, but it rules your seventh house. So the more partnerships, the more that you work with ideal customers, the more affiliates and partnerships that you have to help you build wealth is going to be hugely important for you. So in that house by house, look at the seventh house for you, Giselle. The seventh house, Taurus rules your seventh house. And your new moon activation is going to be at 3 degrees Taurus right here. It's in your sixth house. So for you, what you need to be concentrating for this new moon ritual is how to make your business more automated. Automations are going to help you be more profitable. It's going to help you be more productive, and it's going to help you increase your profits. Okay. Giselle, I don't know if you got any of that, but I hope it served because I'm going to move on to the next chart if I can figure this out. LaDonna, are you here, LaDonna? Perfect. Yay. Hello, LaDonna. So here I have your chart. Yours is chart number 2 that we'll be looking over today. And we have yet another Scorpio rising. Oh, I forgot to mention, Giselle, you have a Scorpio rising. So you have the ability to really transform people's lives. So both for you, LaDonna, and Giselle, you guys are meant to be leaders that really transform at a deep level. You guys can talk about the scary taboo things, right? There's a lot of Scorpio risings. Yes. Oh my gosh. Lindsay, who just popped off, is a Scorpio rising. There are a ton of Scorpio risings. And let me just say that if you don't already know Scorpio rising people, you guys are as powerful AF. Like you guys can like move mountains. All right. Just sit with that for a moment. Meg, another Scorpio rising. PJ, Scorpio rules my sixth house as well. So back to LaDonna. So LaDonna, you have Taurus on your, Sagittarius as well on your second house. But different than Giselle, it's like you have the opportunity to not only show optimism and be inspirational, but you also have your moon, Jupiter, Uranus, South Node, and Neptune all in the second house. So what you have to focus on positivity, because literally when I see these many planets in Sagittarius in the second house, you have the ability to like the Midas touch. Okay. Like honestly, like if you can figure out how to talk your emotions, right? Like when and really rein in, like if you ever feel hurt, to look at to be grateful for those gifts, to see silver linings in those things. If you're able to transmute past hurts and past fears and learn how to speak with beauty and speak with inspiration and gratitude, you will have the Midas touch. You have all of these very benevolent planets in the second house, and you can build a lot of wealth here. Okay, did you get that, LaDonna? This is for you. Like, this is so powerful. Okay, Taurus rules your seventh house. So just like what I was saying for Giselle, if your Taurus rules your seventh house, this is a place for you where you need to be creating partnerships where everybody is there to build wealth. So in that house by house, specify your ritual looking to the seventh house, building partnerships where everybody is building wealth together. Okay, and your new moon activation is right on your seventh house cusp. Okay, even more powerful. So what you need to be doing with this new moon is thinking about collaborators, planting the seeds for finding the right collaborators so that you can build wealth in partnership with other people. Okay, like either you're looking for people who are already have a lot of money that can help support you, or both of you guys can pool your resources and have way more resources to build something even bigger and better than you thought you could imagine. Okay, I'm so glad that's hitting home for you, Madonna. Okay, we're going to move on. The next chart we have is for Naomi. Oh, how did you find the third degree? Okay, Natasha, check it out in this chart here. So Naomi, are you still here? Because you are chart number 3. Is Naomi? Oh, perfect. Yay. Okay, so Naomi, your Taurus. So if we go looking to, oh, no, we're looking at the second house first. So again, we're looking at 3 things here today. So if everybody can just like follow along, then you'll pick up some of these things. So we're looking at the second house cusp, which is this line right here. And your second house cusp is in Leo. So the true value that you bring to your people, whatever, I don't know what you sell, but the transformation behind what you sell is that you allow people to experience joy and creativity and lightheartedness again. You help people express themselves in a way that they're lit up, that they can express their radiant, lovely, lighthearted selves. Okay, that is the essence in a nutshell behind what you're like, behind the commodity of what you actually do. The transformation on the other hand, on the other side, is that they become this full, lighthearted, like just being. Maybe you work with performers who can go up on stage again, or maybe you work with creatives who've lost their creative touch. Now they have access to their creative essence again. Okay, Taurus rules your 11th house. So you can see that this is the 11th house cusp here, but 3 degrees of Taurus. So Natasha, if you're listening, Taurus starts, 0 degrees Taurus starts right where Aries and Taurus meets. That's 0 degrees. So if I know that each zodiac sign is 30 degrees, then I'm just going to estimate and go to 3 degrees. So for Naomi, your new moon activation is happening in your 10th house. So this is a time that you need to really get your business finances in order, right? How are your business finances going to help you with your ultimate mission to create prosperity? Like, for you, you're in business to make money, right? But there's nothing wrong with that, but that's why you're here. You're welcome, Angelica. So for you, you're going to be looking at, Naomi, you're going to be looking at your 11th house where Taurus rules, and you're going to be activating your 10th house here. So how do you want your business to deliver and create wealth? All right. So next chart is for Latoya. Latoya, are you still here for chart number 4? Yay! I'm so glad. Hello, Latoya. So you have Taurus on your second house. So this is going to be a real snap for you. So Taurus on your second house, it's in its home base. Taurus loves creating wealth. It loves creating pleasurable, sensual experiences. So the true gift of your offering is that you allow people to experience pleasure again. You allow people to experience inner peace. You allow people um, to love themselves again, to feel worthy again, essentially. Now you have Chiron, the wounded healer here, that's, you know, activating a whole lot of other things. So this tells me that you have some money stories that you need to work on, right? But as you work on those money stories, and as you begin to, even if you never fully get over your money stories, because whoever really fully gets over your money stories, as you begin to share about your own wounds with self-worth, with pleasure, with beauty, with money, all of those wounds that you share and you be vulnerable with, this is going to grow your ability to show your value and serve others. For you, your third house, 3 degrees Taurus activation for this new moon happens in the first house of brand identity. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking at how you can further define your brand identity to help you build wealth. I hope that serves. Um, and again, if you guys have questions, please catch me up later. Okay, we have to move on. The next chart is for Ashley. Oops, there we go. I just skipped you. Ashley, are you still here? Yay! Okay, Cynthia. So we're looking at, yes, the sign that the second house is the second house cusp. We're looking at where the house that Taurus rules, and then we're looking at the 3 degrees of Taurus. You got it. So for Ashley, the second house is ruled for you by Virgo. So the value that you bring your customers is you create wholeness and healing and mind-body integration. Ashley, I'm not sure what your offer is, but whatever you actually sell, the transformational impact that results in from people working with you is a sense of healing and a sense of wholeness. And this is a beautiful place for you. And the more that you can focus on this place of bringing people, getting people whole again, like maybe you work with people who are overworked or they have too much perfection, and you get them to quell that, you get them to feel really aligned within their own body, the more, and you can really talk about that value of how you bring your people wholeness and mind body integration, the better you're going to be able to talk about what you do and get people to be really excited with what you do. Ashley says, oh, he said, Ashley, I got so excited. Yay, oh, sorry, Ashley W. So Ashley, you say you sell women's empowerment and sisterhood, right? So I put in Virgo Sun, Leo rising. Maybe time was entered wrong. Okay, Latoya, maybe I'll follow up and come back to you. Maybe I did enter it wrong. My apologies if I did enter it wrong. It was kind of late at night when I did these. So Ashley, with so remember, like if you're selling women's empowerment and sisterhood, the result that they get is that they feel connected to themselves again, right? And yeah, so anybody who has Virgo on the second house, it's this, if you think about the Virgo archetype, it's about well-being. It's about mind-body integration. And so the value that you bring is that they then get to connect to themselves again. And so Ashley W, Taurus rules your 10th house. So like the last person, 10th house, with Taurus in the 10th house, you're here to build wealth. That's your ultimate mission in your business, is to create peace, to create prosperity, to create pleasure, right? That's the ultimate mission that you need to be delivering on. And your 3rd degree your 3 degrees Taurus activation is actually happening in the 9th house, the 9th house of vision, the 9th house of like exploration of beliefs, right? So my question for you when you put your new moon intentions together is, what do you need to believe? what about yourself do you need to believe in order to achieve wealth? That's a key for you right now. Okay. Um, Aisha says, self-esteem issues for me, but helping others connect to wholeness is so beautiful. You're welcome. All right. So yay, Ashley. All right. So I've gone through the 5 charts. Um, I put some other charts here just in case I didn't have the people didn't show up, but so many of you guys showed up. So I wish I could read all of your charts. If you wanted to have more charts, I'm just going to really quickly mention I'm opening up my flagship called Luminary Rising. It's a year-long immersion, meaning you get to spend a whole year with me, and there are 3 levels of participation because I wanted to make it really accessible for a lot of people. We all need support right now, and if you're able to really invest in your business, this would be a perfect opportunity. We have our opening virtual retreat on May 8th, and we'll be digging into everybody's charts on May 8th so we can get a really great foundation astrologically in terms of where to direct our business. And in the immersion, we are going to be talking about astrology all day long. I'm not done yet, so I just wanted to mention that really quickly. So this is the next exercise in the worksheet. And this is an exercise that I learned from my business coach, who learned it from her business coach, and it is a powerful manifesting tool. So I want you guys to do this all on your own later on this evening when you're getting ready for your ritual. But what I want you to do in this fillable audible worksheet is I want you to enter your name and notice the date. October 31st. So fast forward to 6 months, October 31st is when we're going to be having the full moon in Taurus. So we'll be completing this cycle of everything that you plant now with the Taurus New Moon, you should be able to harvest by October 31st. So I want you to forward pace yourself to October 31st, and I want you to think about the financial abundance that you've created in the last 6 months. Okay? I want you to write a letter to yourself as if all of these things already happened. All right. This is a really, really, really powerful tool. My business coach suggested that we do this kind of letter to ourselves every time we're about to embark on something big. Like, we're about to embark on a new project or on a new launch or a new service, a new offering, a new podcast, a new book proposal, a new whatever, right? So you create the future as if it had already happened. So you get to create and craft your own future. And then I want you to sign it. And the wonderful thing about this is that you don't have to have dinner before you eat your dessert. I want you to eat your dessert first. All right. Are you guys all with me? Who here eats dessert first? who here wishes they would allow themselves to eat dessert first? Jenna, yay. I wish, yay. Now I do for a bit dessert. So all of you guys, this is the idea with manifesting, right? When you reward yourself before you actually do it, you're telling yourself that you trust yourself, right? So I want you to think of something that you want to purchase for yourself right now, right? So that you can reward yourself for this wonderful accomplishment that you have had in October. So 6 months from now. Awesome, Giselle. I wish I had a cupcake or an experience. Yes, Carrie, or an experience. A nice massage, even though we can't get massages now, or a trip, or some clothing, or, all of those things. Yes, 100%. So whatever would be a reward to you specifically when you write this letter, I would like you to reward yourself, right? So it's like eating dessert before dinner. So, let's see, is this going to go forward? All right. So I hope that we were able to go through everything so that you are able to see how this new moon and the effort that you put into your ritual tonight will help you embody your self-worth and value. right? So that you can go from undervaluing to deserving, because you all have a gift of transformation and impact. That's your second house. So the zodiac sign on your second house. You also have ability to expand your profits. That is where Taurus, which house Taurus is activating. And you also have the capacity to feel pleasure, peace, and prosperity. I know you guys do. All right. And let's see, do I have more slides in here? Yes. So the act of investing. Okay. So, if you want to hang up now, I understand, but I have to do my little offer, right? I do have a couple of offers for you. And this is the act of investing, right? When we invest in ourselves, we're telling the universe that we trust in it. We're telling ourselves that we trust in ourselves, and we are committing to ourselves and the universe, right? The first time I ever invested in a business coach, I was so freaking scared. But as soon as I made the decision to invest, so many opportunities presented itself. And I know that that is the scary, scary thing. And so, we all have to do what we all have to do. You can either do it on your own, or you can make the wiser choice, right? I told you that it took me 15 years to hire a business coach. What the F was I doing, wasting 15 years before I hired a business coach? Where would I have been if I hired a business coach sooner, because of all of the progress I made in 2 years, right? So you can make the wiser choice. You can get help from someone who's been there before, right? Somebody who was hiding for 15 years, who've seen all of those mistakes. Or maybe you can join me in the Luminary Rising, right? So what I'm doing with the Luminary Rising, like I mentioned earlier, if you want more information, I'm happy to send you more information. It is a year-long program where we talk about astrology. We have these regular new moon rituals. We have mentorship and a whole library of brand training. There's going to be quarterly retreats, virtual retreats, maybe in-person retreats one day. And each month we're going to be having an implementation challenge where all of us are working on one thing at a time. So in May, we're going to be working on website RX. So fixing your website for the here and now, not creating some fancy schmancy website that you have all of these things in the future, like, oh, I'm going to do this and this. What's going to work for your website right now? In June, we're going to be working on our engaging messaging. In July, we're going to be talking about our stories and business healing with the moon. Okay. So we're going to be following astrologically the new moons as well. Right. So what I have, because I know that people have a hard time figuring out, like, oh, can I really invest in a whole year-long program right now? Well, I'm offering a quarterly commitment just for the people who are here on this masterclass. I'm going to let you just sign up for a quarterly. And the intro rate is I'm going to give $50 off for people who pay by the month, or $500 off for the annual payment. So if you decide that you want to do a quarterly commitment, you can take just the $50 off of each of the monthly payments. Okay. All of this is going to come with a beautifully designed natal chart. You'll have a 20% coupon that you can use for if you want to buy additional consults with me, one-on-one consults. I'll give you 20% off coupon. And if you buy an annual plan, I'll give you $500 credit for any do for you service, because we do, of course, web design and brand design and all of that stuff, right? So, and I know a lot of us, because I didn't get a chance to go really deep into each of these sample charts, and there might be some of you that are just like, you know what, Leslie, I don't want to do this whole full commitment yet. I just want to get a mini reading. I'm offering a very mini reading for only $49, where we're just going to focus on the new moon in Taurus. You can use this code. I'll send an email with these links. You can use a new moon code for $100 off my mini readings. But we're going to be working on your new moon activation in Taurus, so we can talk about your value and your profits. All right. So yay, LaDonna. I really hope that you can join me, LaDonna. This is going to be so much fun. So if you're interested, or even if you just have questions, you're like, I don't know if this is right for me, but I want to learn more, schedule a 30-minute brand clarity call with me. You can go on that link, chat. And if you are, you know, if you're a businesswoman, spiritual CEO, social impact maker, I think you know, like, I think you know that if this is right for you already. And if you just want, just if you think you know, if you've heard the call and you really enjoy working with me and what I can offer, then just take a chance and book a call. Like, you don't have to, you know, there's no obligation in the call. You get to meet me, you get to like get some real insight into your business and what might be holding you back, right? So, what would it mean for your business if you were really open to being seen? Oh, you're so welcome, PJ. I'm so happy that you guys were here. So again, if you have questions, you know, go to chat. And I think that's all I have. Oh, we need to thank Pachamama. Thank you, Pachamama, for supporting us this entire time. Please be released and go forth, and help us plant the seeds that we need to plant right now so that we can grow our brand and our brand awareness so that we may serve others and serve you. I think that's all I have for now. Oh my gosh, hold on a second. Let me turn off the share. All right, guys, I am going to sign off now. I need to practice some self-care for myself as well. I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful new moon and earth day. And, you know, please head over to the Savvy Luminary and Facebook group. You're so welcome. Or find my podcast on any of your favorite podcast players. There's a whole episode on New Moon in Taurus, so you can take a listen and maybe that'll help you inspire. You have your worksheets, you have a lot of tools to set you up for today. Oh my gosh, you guys are so welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Love you guys. Okay, bye.